Okay, so I know that last time that you came in here, we.
I was a mess. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. We came in here, we got to know each other a little bit.
Mhm.
We talked a little bit about how your family works and your
Or
goals.
doesn't work.
And your goals for coming here, which were mainly to learn how to communicate better with them.
Absolutely.
And is there anything else that I missed from our last session that you would like to make more clear?
No, I feel like I definitely, oh my gosh, I got to vent a lot. I don't mean vent, but definitely got to express my feelings, and thank you for making me feel so comfortable in that. But, I feel like it's just like this pressing thing on my mind right now. Like, I know I mentioned last time just how I'm just getting no help. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's what you're asking me, that if anything I need to clarify, but that I feel like is the main thing with me right now. Like, I almost forgot. I was supposed to come here today. Like, look at me, I'm a mess, like I was last time. But the communication in our family is just horrible, and I don't know how to express to my like. I don't know if it's something I'm doing wrong, if like I'm just like being a mean bitch all the time, or what. Like what, you know what I mean? It's
Maybe tell me how you expect your family members to play certain roles, and maybe tell me how you would like them to.
okay. So I feel like I have to tell you almost background with that because so I grew up in a family that's just like, my father was always there for me, and he treated my mom like a princess. Like, I mean, he's a hard act to follow, let me tell you. Because, like, we just made every decision together. Like, me, my family, and I. It was the four of us, and my brother, and my mom and dad, and just, we had help. Like, if I needed something, oh, go to my mom, we'll do it. Oh, if my mom needed something, my dad was right there, just like, oh, hey, let me, not even having to ask, but to come. We were a unit. It was like it's not like four individuals, oh, let's do our own separate things. It's like, no, let's work as a team, because that's how I grew up. And my husband just did not grow up that way, and I feel like I resent him for that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, when we were young, we got married, it's like, you're so in love, and everything's gonna be rainbows and unicorns, and it's not, obviously, I knew it's not gonna be like that every single day, but I can't deal with this. It's like a chronic, almost
anxious feeling.
Yes, it's like I have this like impending doom that's just I'm gonna die. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because like I cannot get any help from anybody. Like it's ridiculous. I'm trying to get. We have finals this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to get my doctorate right now, and how am I supposed to do that and study and drop off my kids for dance, for basketball, for baseball, for everything? And
what is it that your husband's doing whenever he's not home?
So he's a surgeon, mm-hmm. and he has always been able to sorry, what? What was the question?
What does your husband do?
I have not gotten much sleep this week. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm just...
No, you're totally fine. We were talking about what your husband does whenever he's not at home with you and the kids.
He has recently just, like anytime he gets off work, he's like, oh, I'm going to stop by the driving range. And they opened up that place, Top Golf or something like that.
Uh-huh.
That has been, like, his getaway, I swear. It's like, oh, no, maybe you should come home and maybe you should play with your kids. Or, oh, maybe you should ask, oh, honey, I know you've been studying all day and I've been at work. I understand we're both tired, but, hey, I'll do the dishes today because you've done them every day for the last 2 years. You know, just something like that. Oh, I don't know. Appreciate your wife, maybe? Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm getting, like, very...
Why do you think you got married in the first place?
We were so in love, you know what I mean? Like, we were unstoppable, me and him together. It felt like a team. It mm-hmm. really did. Like, when we first got married. And, like, I mean, we wanted a family. We wanted a family so badly. And I almost feel like he's afraid of not being the perfect husband, not the perfect dad, you know what I mean? Because I feel like when we first, got married, everything was great. Like the things I was even saying, like helping the dishes, happened every day,
mm-hmm.
And I feel like you know, we had our first child and everything was great, awesome, you know, and I feel like with my, I don't know, I feel like it's just been a very slow drawing away that he's been doing. I feel like he's just like slowly I'm losing him. When like I know it's not that, like I know our love is still there. It's not that like he doesn't love me anymore, I don't love him anymore. It's not like that. It's more like I just feel him drifting. You know what I'm saying? Where instead of like, you know, I feel like he thinks that, oh, you know, she can I love her. She can do it all. You know, instead of, you know what I mean? Like he has the faith in me to do it, but that doesn't mean he can't help me. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't know when it began. I can't pinpoint a time. I just know that.
Was he real helpful with the first child?
Yeah, absolutely. In the early years, absolutely. Yeah, I feel like the first, let's say, 4 or 5 years we were married or whatnot. How long ago was that? I don't know. But I feel like when it was maybe around the time when like my second child. Yeah. When things started kind of.
Yeah, starting to gradually just less away. Communication. Yeah.
It's that. It's honestly that. Like I just feel like that's what we need. That's what we need, absolutely. And there's probably a multitude of things.
Are there things that you've noticed about yourself that you may think would help aid in having a better communication with your family?
That's a good one. Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, no one's perfect. I know for a fact I'm not. I think that, you know, maybe I nag too much. Maybe I feel like when he does come home, I'm just like, oh, you think, you know, like, whew, I'm getting heated again. But, like, when he comes home, I'm just like, oh, so you thought that was a good idea? To go play golf? Really?
So typically your first conversation when he walks in the door is pretty hostile.
It's very confrontational, yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that's something I could work on to maybe try to understand I don't know if I'll ever be able to understand it, because why would you go play golf when there's so many things to do around the house? I get it. Maybe he needs an outlet to do something, but that's not the question you're asking. I'll be fine. But I won't be. That's why I'm here. Yeah, I feel like I'm confrontational instead of just being like, because who wants to, you know, if someone comes at you attacking, who's going to be like, oh, I'll help out more? Yeah.
So you think that you might be able to change the way that you respond to the things that he does, and maybe instead of attacking someone, or whether it's your kids or whether it's your husband, that maybe, do you think that asking them in a different way would reciprocate a different response from them? Like maybe a more helpful, healthy response?
I feel like with my husband, yes. With my kids, that is a totally different story.
Tell me about your kids.
Whew. Right now, I want to call them brats, but I know they're my little angels, which they're not, in my opinion, right now. But they just do not listen to me at all. At all. I'll tell them, hey, you need to get ready for school. You need to do that. I don't know how to better communicate with them. And that's what I was saying earlier, is like, that's how I grew up. That's how, I mean, my mom and dad were like, they weren't very authoritative, but I wanted to do those things because we got along so well. It's like, well, I want to do my part. Like, I want them to have that feeling of, I want to put in this much so that our family is as collaborative as we can be. And I don't know if that's me being hopeful and me being like, oh, let's have a perfect family. I realize it's not going to be perfect. But
if your family were to be perfect, how would they all work together? How would your perfect family be if you could have that, including yourself?
Oh, like I had it? I don't know. I feel like I don't know how I feel about a perfect family, because I know it's not a family unless there's some drama in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
But I think definitely is my children feeling like they also have a say in what our family does. Because sometimes, you know what? That's a good point too. Because sometimes I feel like me and my husband do play a very authoritative role. Like, you do this and that's that. Like, you don't get any say, or we don't explain either. Like, oh, you need to do this part because, or you need to set the dishes because, explain it in that way. Because, one of them's a teenager, one of them's almost teenager, preteen.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting to that age where I feel like they're very impressionable,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think that we're setting the best example as far as what parents are.
Mm-hmm.
Parents are there, or in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
to guide them through their lives, to get them through whatever. And I feel like right now we are just like rule makers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just breaks my heart. Like every time I think about it, it's not. They're not getting what I had. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So, Rhonda, tell me how you typically fit into your family's lives. Like, tell me about a typical day, activities. Like, do you feel important? Do you feel needed?
I feel needed. I do not feel important. I feel like those are definitely not it. Like, I feel needed in the sense of they rely on me to do everything. So, what you're saying is typical day. Get up at 4 a.m., make my husband coffee because he's about to go to work. He has rounds in the morning. So, I make him his coffee. Then I start making breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And, I shower in between there and get myself ready, which obviously today didn't happen. But, get my kids up, which is a struggle every single morning. And try to make them make their beds. Never happens. Try to, make them breakfast. And, of course, they don't want it. They want the new toaster strudel that's coming out, or the new Taco Bell breakfast that's coming out. Like, that's what they want. They don't, whatever. Get them ready, drop them off at school, then I come home, try to get a little bit of studying. I go to a lecture when I can. I feel like I'm just a one-man show.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's like, my kids they need me in the sense of, oh, you're supposed to do those things. You're supposed to get me up in the morning. Which, I mean, that's what, as a mom, you do. But they also need to start learning.
Appreciate.
My oldest one is getting old enough to know, okay, I'm not going to be around forever. My youngest one, we can baby him for a little longer. But, they're getting that teenage years where it's like, Mom and Dad aren't going to be around all the time. Or, and they need me in the sense of they expect me to get it all done, but they're not willing to have any responsibility in it.
Yeah.
So that's a typical day for me. And I'm trying to get my doctorate. My husband gives me crap all the time for like, oh, you only did, like, you were a researcher or whatever, and how come it's taking you so long to get your doctorate? And I'm like, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What were you doing while I was having 3 kids?
Yeah. So definitely you feel unappreciated.
Absolutely.
So you just explained to me how you see each and every one of your family members throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. Can
you kind of explain to me how you think that your family members perceive you?
I never thought about it like that. To be honest, I have no idea, and I'm thinking about it. Probably not the best right now because, first thing I do when I see my husband, nagging at him, why'd you go play golf? Why were you at work so long? What were you doing there? Oh, were you seeing someone there? Being accusative in that sense. He probably sees me as just a witch with a W. But my kids probably just see me as awful. I never thought about it that way. It's the first thing I do when I see them. Why didn't you do this? How come you made this grade? How come you didn't make an A? What are you thinking about college? What are you gonna, like, what?
So you feel like the bad guy. And
all around, yeah.
Do your kids perceive your husband in the same sense, or is he always seen as kind of like the fun parent who lets them do whatever they want, or?
Kind of a little bit of both, but more fun than me. When he has time for them.
How do you feel that they would feel about coming in for therapy next session?
My kids would probably think it's a game, honestly. They'd probably laugh and be like, oh, Mom's crying. But my husband, I think that he would take it seriously. I really do.
Does he seem like willing to try to fix things, or does he just...
Yeah, no, I really do. And I feel like that's why why I wanted to come in, because I know that we need help, and I know it's something that would help. You know what I mean? Because I haven't really. I've discussed it with him. I think he thinks though that I'm just coming in for
just self-help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I know that, like, yes, I need to work on what I'm doing, but as a family, as a unit, we need to. I know you explained that to me a little bit last time. That like we all need to. It isn't just a one man problem. It's a unit problem. And
well, let's talk about trying to get him in here and see how that goes.
No, absolutely. I think that's a really great idea.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's pick up next